Hey everyone, this is Tyler from Sure to Shame, bringing you your breakdown for UFC 206. A pleasant little dumpster fire of a card that actually had some good fights. I have a cold while I'm doing this, so I'm just gonna try and knock these off as quick as possible. I'm gonna start this one off with Jordan Meehan versus Emil Meek. I'm gonna pick just right up front, which is not how I usually go. I'm gonna pick Meek just simply because he looks like a goddamn Viking, and I love it. If you don't know who he is, Emil Mike is the guy who destroyed Paul Harris in less than a minute. Uh, he's a pretty solid boxer. He has great takedown defense with pretty good escape to your feet jiu-jitsu. Uh, if you aren't even familiar with Jordan Meehan, he's a pretty good striker himself. So look for this one to be contested mostly on the feet. Uh, I'm going to say Emil has the striking advantage, so I'm going to say he's going to edge out a pretty close decision victory. After that, we got Cub Swanson versus Duho Choi. Uh, Choi is essentially a Korean Connor. I'm going to start campaigning for that nickname right now. Duho Korean Connor Choi, or Do Korean Connor Choi, Hu Choi. I don't know how his name works. Uh, what I mean by that is he has sharp combos and he has power in his hands. Uh, he has pretty spotty takedown defense and ground skills, much like Connor. But with Swanson being a stand-up guy, I feel like that this is his element. This is a handpicked opponent for Choi. Because Cub will try and keep the fight standing and tough it out. His head movement will be on point for the better part of the first two rounds, but watch for Choi to start tagging him and doing some real damage. I don't think he knocks him out. I think that the last round looks pretty evident for Choi. Uh, I hate to say it, I like Swanson, but I think this is Choi's coming out party. After that, we got Kelvin Gastelum versus Tim Kennedy. Uh, it's really hard to pin down exact style differences. They're both a couple of wrestlers with some crisp striking. Uh, looking at your X factors for this one, Gastelum is the much more current fighter. He's been fighting a lot more recently. Uh, while Kennedy, he's not been on the shelf. He's been killing terrorists. He's been active. He's healthy. Uh, but you have to be aware. After what happened at 205, this is a punishment for Gastelum. Uh, Gastelum Kennedy has all the tools to neutralize Gastelum's tools. And he's just bigger. Size counts. Uh, so I think that Kennedy's really needs to come out and put a beating on him and score some points with Dana, especially after this whole union talk. Dana's going to want to lob some heads, so if Kennedy needs a win right now. That brings us to our co-main event. I told you I was going to knock these off quick. Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Matt the Immortal Brown. Brown is walking into this one with a 2-inch reach advantage. However, it doesn't matter. He usually keeps his hands low to invite people in so he can brawl with them. Looking at Brown's style, he overcommits with his power hands, which you will see, which led Cerrone taking down Cote many times. Watch for Cerrone's wrestling to resurface in this fight. Also watch for Cerrone to kick to the body a lot after Matt Brown just got taken out by a body shot from Jake Ellenberger. Cerrone's going to pick up on that and he's going to hunt the body. I think this is going to be another knockout for Cerrone. I think he's going to, and Matt Brown's going to take another little tumble down the rankings. Sorry, but it's not a good fight for him. And that already brings us to our main event for the interim featherweight championship. I really don't understand why they're doing that. It just doesn't make sense to me. All right, looking at this fight, Pettis looked pretty good in his featherweight debut, uh, but his problems from lightweight did not go away. He has a problem handling boxers. Somebody who could stay in boxing range and just keep their fists in his face and not let him set up his big stuff is going to give him a lot of problems. Oliveira was doing that, and Oliveira isn't really known for his striking. Uh, Holloway is going to excel at that. He's going to stay inside boxing range. It's how he beat up Cub Swanson, uh, and he's not going to try and take him down. Uh, Pettis, when he gets in these dangerous situations, he likes people to take him down. That way he can reverse it and head for submission. Uh, but Holloway's going to want to keep this on the feet. As long as he does not give Pettis too much distance to set up his kicks. I see this being a nice, easy 5-round fight for Holloway. I know you shouldn't be overlooking Pettis, but I think this is Holloway's night, all night. And so that's my wrap up. Yeah, hopefully I'll feel better for the next one, Rosie versus Nunez. Okay, this is Tyler from Sure to Shame, signing off.